We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Biden's failing faculties, bills dying in Congress, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. An aid package aimed at giving $17.6 billion to Israel failed to pass the House of Representatives on Tuesday. It had been facing a veto threat from the White House, which is pushing for Congress to consider Israel aid as part of a larger $118 billion supplemental security package, along with pushback from GOP hardliners who wanted the price tag offset by spending cuts elsewhere. The bill was fast-tracked for a vote on Tuesday under suspension of House rules, meaning it would bypass a procedural hurdle known as a rule vote in exchange for raising the threshold for passage to 2/3 of the chamber rather than a simple majority. It ultimately failed to reach enough support despite 250 lawmakers voting for it and 180 voting against. 46 Democrats voted in favor of the bill, while 166 voted against. On the Republican side, 14 lawmakers voted down the Israel aid, and 204 voted for it. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre on Tuesday dodged questions about President Biden's mental and physical health after the president appeared to confuse French President Emmanuel Macron with former French President François Mitterrand, who has been dead for nearly 30 years. The gaffe came during a campaign stop in Las Vegas on Sunday. The president was recalling a meeting he had with Macron at the G7 summit in England shortly after he assumed the White House in 2021. But instead of Macron, Biden dropped the name of Mitterrand, who was the president of France between 1981 and 1995 and died in 1996. President Biden sparked more alarm by appearing to get lost during his latest press conference, even forgetting the name Hamas. The oldest ever U.S. president was asked a question Tuesday about the ongoing hostage negotiations between the terrorist group and Israel after delivering a speech promoting the new border security bill. There is some movement, and I don't wanna, the 81-year-old commander-in-chief said, pausing to stare blankly ahead. Let me choose my words. There's some movement. There's been a response from he said, again pausing while looking ahead with the same lost look. In a recent NBC News poll, 75% of Americans believe Biden does not have the mental acuity to be president. A panel of judges from a federal appeals court in Washington, D.C., held that former President Donald Trump isn't immune from being prosecuted on charges that he tried to subvert the 2020 presidential election, a defeat Trump is expected to appeal swiftly to the full appellate court or to the Supreme Court. The ruling said that the former president is now citizen Trump, and that any claim he had to immunity as president is no longer there. The judge overseeing the D.C. criminal case, originally scheduled for trial in March, has put it on hold while the immunity issue gets hashed out. There are questions about whether this decision will be upheld, given that the actions in question did take place while Trump was president. House Republicans failed on Tuesday to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, forced to shelve a high-profile priority for now after a few GOP lawmakers refused to go along with the party's plan. The roll call fell just a single vote short of impeaching Mayorkas, stalling the drive to punish the Biden administration over its handling of the U.S.-Mexico border. With Democrats united against the charges, the Republicans needed almost every vote from their slim majority to approve the articles of impeachment. It was no surprise that the impeachment failed. Fox, Warner Brothers Discovery, and Disney's ESPN plan to join forces to create a new sports streaming service, and each will own a third. They're hoping you'll pay for yet another subscription to see live pro and college games that had traditionally only been on television, including Monday Night Football. It'll be a standalone app, but subscribers will also be able to bundle it with Hulu, Max, and Disney+. The service, which is scheduled to launch by fall, does not have a price or name yet. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.